The sun is stinging this morning. It literally feels like an arrow flying and piercing my skin. I love the sun, but I hate it when it stings my skin. I open the screen door, stick my head out, and look at the plastic bucket of water clipped to the air conditioner drain pipe. The bucket, which resembles a large beer bottle, is about a third full. I pause to consider whether or not to empty it. I decide to empty it while I'm at it, so I can forget about it until the evening.
I empty the drip tray, flush the toilet, then flop down on the couch, my fingers flicking the switch on the electric porter like a self-programmed robot. Fully automatic. As I boil the water for my coffee, my phone blares a series of notifications. Most of them aren't directly related, but I feel bad if I don't look at them. I open my phone's screen. It's a text about benefits. I smiled unexpectedly. I down my coffee in a couple of sips as if it were cold water. Have I reached the age where I'm glad to see a text about welfare benefits? A new text notification popped up. It's finally here! I nervously opened it. My eyes quickly scrolled through the numbers attached to the reasons. The amount went up again, one bill after another. I have no choice but to rely on the hospital. The coffee I just drank tastes bitter now. This is the moment when I envy those who are financially comfortable.
I grabbed my cigarettes and lighter and left the house. When I'm feeling stuck, a walk can be quite helpful. Walking around distracts me from whatever is bothering me, and I forget what I was thinking. It's kind of like my body's self-defense mechanism for survival. I'm walking, and before I know it, I'm near the city's central station. Oh, I'm here again, even though I didn't intend to be. I tell myself I didn't mean to, but the route was probably already mapped out in my head from the moment I stepped out the door. I can't shake the feeling that I'm almost on par with the stray cats that roam the neighborhood. Across the street, 3 women stand at a traffic light. One is holding a black folding umbrella. I say it's an umbrella, but I'm not really sure. Given the weather, I'd say it's a parasol, but I doubt the women would prefer a black one. On either side of the women with the umbrella are blonde and brown-haired women, talking to each other about something. At the same time, as the blue light turns green, people are crossing the crosswalk from both sides.
I glance at them, feigning indifference. Their speech sounds like Russian. The one with dark hair and an oriental appearance appears to be past middle age. The one with blonde hair and sapphire eyes appears to be in her 20s. And the one with light brown hair appears to be middle-aged. Visitors? Or are they residents? It seems I have lots of things to know, which are none of my business.
After the crossing, small restaurants line up shoulder to shoulder on both sides of the street. Small octopus hot pot, pork barbecue, pork soup with rice, toast, jjajangmyeon, Korean traditional food, coffee shop, kebab, and various kinds of food are advertised in various fonts. There aren't many people in the seats overlooking the window. A few people were sitting only at the coffee shop. Aha! It must be past dinner time. There was a time when I used to read the time similarly without looking at my watch. Nowadays, there are many delicious-looking restaurants on the streets which stimulate the salivary glands from time to time, so the belly clock may not be useful anymore. Ha ha ha! The parking lot attendant was also sitting in his stool, so I guess the peak time for restaurants is past. As I walked past the restaurant, I secretly started to feel hungry. I'm not sure if I'm hungry or just thinking like that. In any case, I reach into the pocket for a cigarette to satisfy my craving. I pop one in my mouth and put it down, still holding it in my fingers. I looked around for a place to light a cigarette. There was no suitable place. Only when I reached the station building did I breathe a sigh of relief. Because this train station has smoking zones at both sides, like an airport. They are a heaven for smokers. Young and old, men and women, each with a cigarette in their mouths, enjoying themselves in their own way.
The glass wall with the best view is already taken. The ashtray side in the center is the only empty spot. I got there, stood, and took a drag. At that moment, a newcomer, probably past middle age, walks in and approaches a man of about the same age who is fidgeting with his cell phone. Then the newcomer says something. "May I borrow a cigarette?" The man looking at his cell phone looks up and replies, "Only one left. Ha ha ha, it's been a while."
The newcomer didn't leave that place, but continued to stand next to that man. Then the man took out the last cigarette from his pack and handed it to him. The newcomer thanked the man, took it in his hand, and left. Is this the moment when dreams come true? Is this the moment when a desire reaches its goal? There were the days when people borrowed cigarettes on the streets and lent them very casually. People from other countries may not understand what I'm talking about. In Korean, in this case when they say, "May I borrow a cigarette?" it means, "Would you please give me a cigarette?" So it doesn't mean borrowing and lending, but it's give and take. Even those times, they do not ask for a cigarette when he said, "I left only one." That was a golden rule. But today, I am now witnessing the moment when that golden rule breaks down in the face of need.
While smoking is now widely publicized as a social problem and a personal health hazard, this was not the case just a generation ago. There was a time when the anti-smoking movement was fueled by feminist activists who argued that tobacco was a harmful substance that should not be smoked, and, secondarily, that it was an antisocial entity that harmed non-smokers. They argued that tobacco was a harmful substance that should not be smoked, and secondarily, that it was an antisocial entity that harmed non-smokers. Smokers had a tired argument to make. No one wants to be seen as a pest by others.
Despite the social climate of the time, the opposite was happening on college campuses. Smoking among female students was on the rise. Their argument was not for smokers' rights, but for gender equality. It means we women also have the right to smoke. Anti-smoking and struggles for women's smoking equality. Now we live in an era where young and old and men and women smoke. It's just a cigarette, but it also tells a story about social change. I took a last puff, pressed it off, and flicked it into the ashtray, and stepped outside. A lot of people come and go, carrying backpacks on their backs and dragging suitcases in their hands. I realized that the number of foreigners has increased. From various countries and all ranges of ages, it seems that more and more domestic and foreign visitors are coming to this city with their families, friends, or alone. It's a place where diverse people and various cultures mix together, and that's why I come here more and more often. As I walk back home, my steps feel lighter somehow, as if I've been comforted by their presence and given the strength to hold on to what little hope I have.